rebuilding. The catastrophic failure, a new start. Physically, mentally, our careers, our businesses. Step back, first step, next step. The driver in me just wants to get it done tomorrow. We'll do this, do that, let's move this, where are we at with this? You build some confidence, build some self-esteem, start to feel better about yourself. The Silverback Blueprint Podcast, a show for men over 40. We focus on getting stronger, staying motivated, building discipline, creating a community, and becoming truly happy. Hey guys, before we get started on today's podcast, I just want to take a minute to let you guys know that our new Work Hard Motherfucker t-shirts are now available at hostilegear.com. Head on over there, use the code Silverback and save 20% and get this badass t-shirt. I know a lot of people have been saying, hey, what a great idea, can't wait to get it. So now it's up there, it's in color, it looks awesome, and make sure to get yours AS to the AP. And now, on to the episode. Hey guys, and welcome to the Silverback Blueprint. What I want to talk about today, guys, is some practical stuff when it comes to training. Leave the old mindset stuff aside for a little bit. The importance of training logs and training partners. Those of you that use them know what I'm talking about. So we're preaching to the choir here. Listen anyway. I may say something funny. It may happen. You may pick up on something different that you hadn't thought of. That may happen. At the end of the day, there's a couple of tools when we're working out that make a lot of difference overall. And I've always said this, and I made this stat up, but I know it's pretty close, that 5% of the people that train use a training log of some sort, but they make 95% of all the changes, transformations, and gains in their training. Now, whether that's 95 or 80 or whatever, it's really to drive a point home, right? A training log is so important. It can be a paper journal. It could be your thing on your phone, your fitness pal, your workout trackers, all kinds of gadgets and gadgets out there and stuff. It's got to be something, though, that you're going to use consistently. I'm of that generation, and a lot of you guys listening are that generation that we grew up before the iPhone, right? We grew up somewhere in between the Coliseum being built and the internet, right? Coliseum was built in 80 AD, so I don't think I have too many contemporary listeners from that zone. But you know what I mean? Like we've grown up through a lot of amazing technological advances and stuff like that. So for a lot of us, we're still pen and paper, right? Right now, I've got a notebook on my left hand for podcasts. I got my notebook on my right side for my journal, and I have my iPhone sitting on top of it. So we're that weird, generations that grew up with and without it. We kind of use both. We know pounds, we know kilos. Like we're freaks. We're evolutionary freaks because we're stuck in the middle of a couple systems and technologies that have come up. My whole point of that is I don't like people using the iPhone, an app for their training, their journal, if they're not going to look at it and use it on a consistent basis. What I like is when I sit there and I have a training journal, my third journal that I have at the gym, that when I physically see it, it's an anchor. To remind me that I'm training, to remind me that, what I've got goals, to remind me that I'm working towards something. Whereas I have tried apps on the phone, and because you know what, when I look at the phone, if that app's not open up right away, I'll forget about it. I don't see it, right? So front of mind is super important. And I think that's one of the powerful things of a journal. Food journal, especially if you're trying to get leaner and you're struggling with it, super important. If we journal, we get results. Track your workouts. How many pounds did I lift this for? How many sets and reps did I lift this for? When I train groups, I train small groups and I train individuals, right? And I'm like, all right, guys, this deadlift today, we're doing 80% of your max. They know to grab their journal, look back through the last max effort they did. They usually keep a section in the back for max effort on certain lifts. They know the number. They can figure out the percentage. They've got the number. They're ready to go. They know what they have to do. They warm up and they work towards it. So much more efficient. So much more realistic. Because the other thing is, they'll be like, oh, I think I did 300 when they really did 250. And they can't quite remember. And they don't remember how many sets and reps they did. So we end up spending sometimes 10, 12, 50 minutes figuring shit out in a workout. I don't have time for that. They're the clients. They're paying for that time. So at the end of the day, they're not getting the best bang for their buck. For us at Hostile, it's a standard. If you're a part of that kind of group, you have to have a journal. Because if you don't have a journal, I tell them flat out, if you don't have a journal by your second workout, because I've reminded you once, I'm not even going to waste my time. This is what we're doing. Let's go. Let's start warming up. Don't come and see me to try to figure it out. Because it does a few things. It wastes time. It also shows me that you're not really serious. And my time is super serious. Whether you're paying for it or not, my time is super valuable. Because that's a standard I've set for myself, and I keep building higher standard on that as well. So if you can't be bothered to bring a journal in, then you're not really serious. I'd rather work with someone else who's serious because it's more rewarding for me, right? It's a positive, constructive use of my time, even beyond the money, right? So that's one of the things. And that's the beauty part of a training log is that, let's say you haven't done an exercise in 6 weeks, 6 months. Oh, fuck, I can't remember what I did. Well, let's look back through the journal. Oh, yeah, the last time we did this, we used this weight for this many sets and this many reps. So if it's been 3 months ago and we've been working hard consistently and I know you're stronger, then I know we've got a guideline, but ideally we're going to be able to go a little better than that. Or you've got a journal and you sit back and you're having a phenomenal day. You feel like you're Superman and you do the opposite. Last time you did this exercise, you used 100 pounds, but you feel so good today. You're like, oh, I'll put 200 pounds on there. Well, it's not realistic. It's not within your strength level. You're not going to benefit from it. You risk injury. And again, we waste time. What about the days where you come in and you're not feeling it and you're, oh, I'm tired, and if you have to sit back there and try to remember, what you did and you're in that negative frame of mind or you're in that less than powerful frame of mind. And last time you did 150, but you're like, oh yeah, I think it was like 100. I feel like 100 today. Well, then you're training below your capabilities. Not beneficial, more of a waste of time. If you sit back and 3 weeks ago, we did the same exercise, you did 3 sets of 10 and used 225 pounds, whether you feel like $1 million or you feel like $11, that's roughly where you should be. So you're holding yourself to a standard and you're working to be increasing your progress and to maintain a better baseline of strength and conditioning. The last time I did 100 kettlebell swings was 2 years ago when I was in better cardio shape, and I have to do 100 kettlebell swings today. And the last time I did it with 24s, and it's been 2 years, and I'm just restarting. I'm probably going to pull the 16 kilo. That makes more sense. And that works vice versa. And again, like anything else, there's value when we write things down. There's a chemical process that happens in our brain when we commit to paper. We remember things better. We put things in better context. They register deeper in our brain and our subconscious. So super powerful to do that. And again, that's the other thing I talked about earlier, is also increases your seriousness about what you're doing. If you're more focused and more serious, you're going to get better results. And this is where we're at right now. If you're listening to me, that's what either you're doing or want to do is you want to improve. Right? So we want to be efficient. We want to be consistent. We want to get in there, pound a great workout at the right levels, get some benefits from that over time, and move on to the next thing. Another cool thing you see a lot of people doing now is they're doing video logs where they're recording things. So for me, I do a lot of that. I still write everything down that I'm doing as a workout, but I like to shoot video and put it up. I shoot video because I share that content to you guys, show you how it's done, show you how I'm doing it, walk the walk, accountability, all that good stuff. It's a great training tool. Oh, this is how you do that. Oh, this is how we work on that. If I'm working with a client and they're having trouble, let's say I get a lot of people asking me to hire me to help them with their bench press. That's one of the things I'm really known for. I'll be like, send me some video of your last few bench sessions. Oh, I don't have one. Well, record your next couple of bench sessions and send it to me because you're 500 miles away, because you're the other end of town, because I don't train in the afternoon when you train in the same gym even. Let me see what's happening, because what you think is happening and what's actually happening can be two different stories. So I like the visual overall. So if you love recording and you're going to use your device and you go back and you check and that's where you maintain things and that's where you hold your information, then fucking beautiful. Record it. I throw all that shit up on YouTube now, so I can go back and check it out. So I was watching a video of me benching 500 some odd pounds in 2009. I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. There's a video of me one arm benching 225 with one hand. Every once in a while I look back and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's pretty impressive. I don't even know if I could do that today. Right? But it's cool to have that. The second thing I think is super important is a training partner. A training partner or a community or a place where you train. That's one of the things that's different about Hostile, is that because we work with smaller numbers, you get to know people better in the gym. So it's a little more comfortable to ask someone for a spot. It's a little more comfortable of an environment. You're working hard. He's working hard. You know what? You're both working hard together. It's a positive, hard-working environment. But let's take that a step further. If you have a training partner, then you have someone that you're accountable to as well too. Because you might be at home, you had a rough day, it's 4, you're training at 6, but you've been on the couch for an hour, all comfortable and cozy underneath the blanket, Netflixing, right? It's minus 22 degrees outside as it is right now in February, right? Left to our own devices, odds are we're either not going to go or we're definitely thinking about not going. But if we know our training partner is sitting there waiting for us or is going to be there, you know what? We're going to be there because we don't want to let them down. We'll often do more for others than we will for ourselves. And he or she is doing the exact same thing. They're going to go because they know you're going to go, right? Rather than let someone down, we'll do stuff that we're not comfortable with. How many times have we done that? Done something or put up with something because we just didn't want to let that other person down. So let's do that in a positive way. The other great thing about a training partner is it's motivating. They're going to spot you. They're going to motivate you. They're going to remind you, hey, remember, you have to hold your elbows this way. Hey, listen, last time you did this. Or like, hey, fuck you, I did 12. Let's see if you can do 12. A lot of positive things come out, right? And it's fun to train with people that have like and similar goals. It's impressive to sit there and be working hard on something, strength game-wise, and some other person comes in pound for pound lighter to you and does the same weight. I find that shit motivating. Or I'm sitting there and I'm doing kettlebell swings and I'm getting gas and I really feel like quitting, but I see over there someone who's older than me, more broken than me, and they're not fucking quitting. I'm like, then how can I quit? Right? A training journal, a training partner. So important. Makes such a difference overall. Oh, I don't know anyone. Well, you know what, motherfucker? Introduce yourself. Start being nicer to people. Come out of your shell. Right? Stop being antisocial. Right? Another reason for you to become, more comfortable with other people. I don't have any friends. I have guys who fucking tell me I don't have any friends. Well, I watch you. You don't talk to people. Say hello. Be pleasant. Because deep down inside you want to. So you got to bite your lip and get past that shyness. Tons of benefit comes from that kind of stuff overall. I work with a couple of different training partners, and I do it for a couple of specific reasons. I have a training partner for my heavier stuff. I have a training partner for my bodybuilding stuff, and I've got a training partner that kind of do bodybuilding or conditioning together. And what I like about it is because it's kind of different modalities. But at the same token, I got one guy that likes to train at 7 in the morning. I like to get a lot of workouts in at 7 in the morning, but I like to train heavy on Saturdays. So it's nice to have my heavier training partner guy on Saturdays. So I know that I've got spots and it's a different mindset and it's just the right environment. And it's another reason for me to make the fucking workout, which makes me more consistent and gets me better results overall. Now, if you've never used a training partner before, or, worked with a training partner, don't use your training partner. But if you've never used a journal before, right, it's going to be new. You're going to be, I don't know what to write. Well, search YouTube, right? What do I write in my training journal? And I'm sure someone's made a living making videos on what to write in your training journal. At the end of the day, like we talked about earlier, it doesn't have to be perfect. 5 lines. I benched, I squatted, I deadlifted. You'll get better at recording your information. Some people are super meticulous. I see their training journals and their journals and stuff. They have beautiful handwriting. Luke's all organized with his journal over there and stuff like that. It's great. That's his personality, but it's important to him. I have a training journal. It's definitely not as neat. It's got all kinds of stuff. Sometimes there's 2 lines on a page. Sometimes there's 14 pages of something. Sometimes there's pictures of penises on it. Like whatever. Fuck, it's your journal. Do what you want. Put a butterfly, a lovely butterfly, whatever. Right? Years ago, we called it a diary. Right? And only the girls had diaries and they had locks on there and stuff like that, right? And it had, pens with feathers and stuff like that. Now it's evolved. Now there's skulls and pens with knives and lasers and stuff like that. Make it your own. Make it your thing. Like I said, I've got a podcast journal. I've got a life journal that I use for my life stuff, my ritual stuff, my exercise, that kind of thing. And then I have my actual workout journal. So I have 2 or 3 different journals. Does it seem like a lot? At first it did, but now it's just naturally progressed to that. But it makes a difference, guys. It's the thing that's going to help you become more consistent. It's the thing that's going to keep you on track. It's the thing that you're going to have to use for feedback as to how you're doing. I've done it many times where I'm like, you know what? I just don't feel this is right anymore. And what did I used to do for shoulders when I was doing this? I can find a journal from last week, last month, last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. and I can look back. What I like doing sometimes with my training journals, if I come up with a training idea, I grab it and I make some notes while it's fresh in my mind. So when I come to workout day, I don't have to sit there and going, what was that I was thinking about? Right? It's a tool, but it's a tool you'll get better at using once you start using it. Some people are fucking serious about their journals, and I think it's phenomenal. Some people use it as a tool, but I'll tell you right now, right? It's what separates real results from wanting results. Right? Two important tools, guys, that make a big difference, that'll have a huge difference in the outcome of your training and how you feel about your training, and just how much you enjoy those things. And I don't care if we're talking about training in the gym, if we're talking about training in your work, if we're talking about training, for your mindset. These are tools that make a big difference. And maybe another episode down the line, we'll talk about coaching and what that does for you. You guys listening to this, you're getting a form of coaching. You're getting information, new information, reminders about, oh yeah, I should do that. Or resonating, yeah, that's right, that's why I do it. It's good, I like this, right? Either way, though, you're getting some coaching from this stuff. If you apply it, take action, not wait for perfection, be consistent, wonderful things happen. Guys, that's all I got to say about that today. Please head over to iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating, leave us a wonderful review. Head on over to hostilegear.com, use the Silverback, the code word Silverback, and get 20% off something really cool. Every month we're coming out with different shirts and hoodies and maybe some feather pens. I'm going to circle that and put an arrow on it. I'll talk to you guys later.